What is going on, everyone? Welcome to your first full-length episode of The Games That Made Us. I am your host, Johnny Blitz, and if you couldn't guess it, today's episode is on, yes, The Legend of Zelda. One of my favorite video games of all time, probably in the top 3. I remember playing this game as a kid, and still love it to today. I haven't, unfortunately, got to play the 2 most recent titles, which would be Breath of the Wild and Tears of a Kingdom, because next-gen systems are kind of expensive right now. You know, and just moving into a new apartment, having to lay out all that money, it's really not in the cards. And if I don't need it, I don't need to have it. But let's jump into this. The original Legend of Zelda was released in 1986, 1 year before I was born. And I remember trying to go back and play this as a kid. You know, I had an NES that was kind of busted, and you had to use 2 cartridges to keep, one cartridge to keep the other cartridge down because the spring mechanism was broke. And this game was way too hard for me as a kid. But we got a Super Nintendo 1 year for Christmas, and one of my first games for the Super Nintendo was The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Now this game is probably my second favorite Zelda game of all time. It is iconic. It's a classic. The whole quest, there's 2 quests in this. So the first quest, when you're in the light world, you get 3 pendants: the earth, the fire, and the water. And then you go into the dark world, and there's 7 maidens that you have to, 7 or 8 maidens that you have to save. And then you go to fight Ganon, who is in his pig form. He's in a couple different forms in other video games, but this is the one that I remember the worst. He's a big blue pig. And this game, I still remember where all the bottles are, 90% of the heart pieces. And it's been so many years since I played this, but since it's so iconic and I played this so much as a kid, I could pick it up and go right back to remembering where everything was. Going back to the original NES, they also released The Adventures of Link. I tried to play this again as an adult. I don't like it. It seems to be most people's favorites because of the leveling system, and it's supposed to be a very good game. I just can't get into it. It's very hard. It's just much different than any other Zelda game that I remember. I did go back and beat the original Legend of Zelda, both quests, because you literally do the whole game all over again, but everything's messed up and everything's in different temples. But then we come to probably the greatest Zelda game of all time, Ocarina of Time. This was released in 1998 on Nintendo 64. And bro, this is just such another iconic game. Again, you play 3 temples as a kid, and then you go to another world. They have to bring in the pendants, which is the dark world. If you basically think about it, you turn into an adult. And this, again, is in the they added horseback in this, where you can ride a pony and travel around. But you can beat the whole game without a pony. It's just a pain. You have to do a little horse races, little mini games. Then there's hidden bottles again. One of my favorite parts of this game was collecting the Poes that only show up at night, and you can only shoot them on horseback. So yeah, just remembering the spots. I remember where most of them are. I think there's 1 or 2 that I probably wouldn't remember. But then you go back and you get your 4th bottle. Getting the Bagoran sword in this, you have to do a whole little quest line, like bring this to this person, bring this, then it's time. And you think you got like maybe a minute of like leeway time in this, but it's an iconic game. Now it comes to another iconic game on the N64, Majora's Mask. And we'll jump into the handheld games in a minute, but I'm not really big on the, I apologize, the handheld games. I played some of them. The original Game Boy and the Game Boy Color ones, but I never really played most of them. But again, Majora's Mask, This was it was either hit or miss. Either you love this or you hate this. It was well hated when it first released, but again, I loved it. It was timed. It was 3 days that you had. It's like you had to keep going back and forth in time to get certain masks, and you had to have this mask to talk to this person. And if you didn't have this mask, you couldn't talk to him. And you had to get this mask before you got that mask. Again, another one of my favorite Legend of Zelda games. Some of the masks were cool. Some of the temples in this game were iconic, like Ocarina of Time. The most iconic temple in that is the water temple, because nobody wants to do it. You play that game, you get to the water temple, and it's just like a dread. I think one time out of like the 15 times I beat that game, where I went through and beat that temple without dying. But Majora's Mask, again, it's a little bit harder than Ocarina of Time. It's just, so I could actually say I probably like it a little bit more than Ocarina of Time. There was a little bit more to do in this game. The masks and the quests and the characters were a little bit more iconic to me. Alright, so the ones for the Game Boy were Link's Awakening, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons. There might have been another one in there. For the Game Boy Color, I don't know. I think there was the Minish Cap, Spirit Tracks, Phantom Hourglass. Like I said, I'm not too keen with handheld ones. I did play Link's Awakening. That's another great game too. I want to replay the remake that they made for the Nintendo Switch, but until I get a Nintendo Switch, it can wait. I did play the remastered versions of some of the games. I beat Oracle of Seasons. I let my cousin borrow it. My cousin let me borrow Oracle of Ages. I grew out of, I got older and became a teenager and just, went into that phase where, that I can't like that anymore type of thing. And then we come to GameCube. GameCube had the original release of Twilight Princess, and it had Wind Waker. I played Twilight Princess. I didn't beat this one. I think I got up to the water temple in this as well, where you use the Zora armor or whatever it is that to swim through the water. And this game is pretty hard for a Legend of Zelda game, so I just gave up on it. Then the release of Wind Waker. Now this totally blew my mind. The cell shading that everybody hated, I loved. The boat travel, the instrument thing, it brought back the ocarina feel, but conducting and changing the patterns of the wind so you can travel in the boat. There was secret islands and secret things you can find. It was the whole quest, grandma and Tetra, who turns out to be who's a pirate. It's pirate themed, who turns out to be Princess Zelda altogether, and it's just so iconic. It's another one of those games where I wish I can go back and play it again. I wish there was just you just snap your fingers and you have whatever you want in front of you. And then after, I think they released the Skyward Sword, this game got so much bad reviews that I didn't even tend to replay it. And I went back and I watched videos and a whole playthrough of the game, and it's about the creation of the Triforce, and it makes no sense because it falls nowhere into the timeline. Because the Zelda encyclopedia that released 4 times now, they don't even know what the timeline is. It's this happens before this. Oh no, we were wrong. This happens after that, and it's just ridiculous. I think I bought the original Zelda encyclopedia, and it's you can't have that no more. That's null and void. They already released 2 more after that. They have cool little things, there's a local store close to me that has a steel version of the Master Sword. I would love to get that and hang it up on my wall. And they have a life-size Hylian shield. There's so many props. They have like Hanayama, these like metal puzzles that were just released. I would love to get that. I'm just gonna start collecting Legend of Zelda stuff now that I'm in my new apartment. I'll, start saving up and acquiring these things because I'm a Legend of Zelda freak. I have shirts. I have one other shirt. I think it's gray with the Legend of Zelda Hylian seal and the Triforce on it, but it's like colorful. And then I think I have Ocarina of Time one somewhere that my friend bought me from Japan. And then after Skyward Sword, I don't know if there was another one. And then the releases of Breath of the Wild and Tears of a Kingdom. They look great. It looks like something I would totally love because it's like a Dark Souls, Legend of Zelda type of thing. Or just like a Monster Hunter type of thing. Unfortunately, I just don't have next gen. I have my PS4 that I'm very happy with and I'm not going to complain. But eventually when I get my Nintendo Switch, I will play these games. And I'll probably go back and play all the others of the games that I love from the past. If you guys haven't played any Legend of Zelda games, I highly recommend it. I'm hoping most of the people that you are subscribed to have at least played one. It's iconic. And I could probably say now, looking back, Resident Evil and Zelda are definitely tied for top favorite video games of all time. Because I love, there's video games that released one, but like series, those two are just definitely number one. And with Metroid probably at a close second. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys want me to review a game or want me to play a game and do like a Let's Play, we could do that here too. I would love to do a Let's Play. I'm thinking about doing a Let's Play on Castlevania Sympathy of Blood. Oh, Sympathy of the Night and Rondo of Blood, because I bought it was like $2.99 for both games on the PS4. I almost knocked my drink over. Sorry about that. And we could do Let's Plays. If you guys want me to play games, I don't care if it's bad. I don't care if it's good. I'll play it if I can afford to get it, or if I have it in my, I'll eventually pick it up and I'll play it. Thank you guys for watching. Once we hit 50 subscribers, we will be going live and doing this live where you guys can ask questions live so I can see them. But come on, guys, please share this, like this, share this with your friends so we can get to 50 subscribers and I can do this. And then I can bring on live guests, because until then, we're going to have the guests come here and we'll do this person to person. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the Games That Made Us, Legend of Zelda Edition. I am your host, Johnny Blitz. And you guys know with me, it's either you're with me or you're against me, because I am the best player in the game and there is nothing you can do about it.